Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast, a part of the Podcast Playground Network. Please give us that 5-star review. Subscribe on your preferred podcast platform. Follow us on Facebook, BJ and Bill, the podcast. And you can always email us, BJ and Bill, the podcast @gmail.com. I can't believe when I say these numbers, but welcome to episode 196.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. When it crosses 200, that'll really be the mind blower. But yes.
You know, I'm hoping we can get to 200. The way my blood pressure,
it's only a month.
The way my blood pressure has been acting, I hope I make it through the week.
So what's up with that? I didn't know this was yet another thing for you, blood pressure. What's up with that?
Well, I've had low blood pressure for quite a while, but it's been very manageable.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the last week it's been dropping into the 80s. You know, when it's in the 90s, even the doctor said, at my age, which I don't know what that means, but
yeah, I hate it when they say that.
They said at your age, 90 over 90, over 65 or something, you can live with it. Not a problem. If you don't feel dizzy, if you don't feel woozy, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's getting 84 over 58. And it's but thank goodness I do have pills to raise it. But even when I take them, it's not raising it to where I really wanted. But now I just took my blood pressure just before we went on because I took one of my little raising pills. And it was 96 over 68. That I can live with.
I always thought lower blood pressure was a good thing, but that's probably just because everybody's is normally way too high, right? I mean, neither one of us is a doctor. Don't take any medical advice from this show. But really.
Yeah, I think it's okay until it starts getting into the 80s. And then you're starting to get into, shaky territory.
What causes low blood pressure?
Being a lazy shit? I don't know.
I guess that's entirely possible. We are not doctors. We do not play them on TV. Do not take any of this as medical advice. But BJ has more experience with the medical community than any other non-credentialed person I know. So there you go. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Sometimes it is scary when you have as much knowledge as I do, and you're going, oh my goodness.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. I don't know.
Right,
Now, if I'm really going to whine about my health,
mm-hmm.
You probably can't see it on the screen, but there's about maybe a dime, penny or dime size, what they call a cyst, which I already have a sister-in-law. I don't need a cyst. And so I was at the dermatologist and they were, looking at it and go, oh, we need to find out what that is. So now they're going to, in a couple of weeks, they're going to cut out the cyst and then biopsy it. Can anything else go wrong with me? I'm getting to the point where...
Wait. Don't ask. You don't want to know. Well, maybe you do want to know, but,
I'm almost to the point. I don't even know if I'm... I want to find out about this blood pressure because I think it can maybe be handled,
right?
Without cutting my body open.
Well, I would hope so.
Every other thing they want to do to me, it has something to do with cutting my body open. And I'm thinking about, I'm just not going to go to the doctor anymore.
Blood pressure is not a thing that cutting will help, I would think.
Yeah.
Again,
that's what I'm thinking.
My word for it.
I think I'm going to say, hey, what can we do about this blood pressure,
Right.
But now cyst.
Change the medication a little.
I should have never. And then, of course, I was at the dermatology and my wife has a couple things that she was worried about. So she had to go in with me. And so
worried about you or worried for her?
For me.
Oh, okay.
So she's telling the lady, really look at this one. Oh yeah, we need to biopsy that one. Really look at this. Oh yeah, we need to biopsy that.
Oh,
so they were like biopsy. I'm not the bionic man anymore. I'm the biopsy man.
You're going to start looking like Swiss cheese. You're going to have so many holes in you. It's going to be
pretty well look like that already. Enough with the complaining.
Yes,
I would say let's get to good news, but I don't even know if there is any good news out there.
Well, for those, I mean, not that it's hugely important, but we are recording this on a Sunday morning for a change. BJ Odom is going to be a good dad tomorrow, Monday, as we record
Yeah.
this, and help out his daughter's car is in the shop, so you're playing
Well,
chauffeur for the day.
yeah, well, I'm meeting her where she's taking her car to get it
Okay,
worked on for a day or two. She was
okay,
in a little fender bender. Thank goodness it was a little fender bender. She's not hurt,
okay,
but there's enough damage on the car that, they're going to fix it.
okay.
And so she's got to take it in. They said all this is a bumper replacement. They said they should be able to get it done in a day,
Hmm.
but we'll see if it's only a day. So I'm like going to play basically chauffeur for a couple of days for my daughter.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good for you. Good for you, Dad. That's good. Yeah. I mean,
Hey, as the children grow and as adults grow, it seems like you grow not further apart, but you just don't see each other enough. So
well,
I'm willing to do it because
okay.
that's a
All
way
right.
to squeeze into her life and get some FaceTime.
Face and not the iPhone kind, but the
Yeah,
human kind, which is
yeah, the
good. I
human
mean,
kind.
that you're right about that. We there's very little human connection nowadays. And so okay, if that's what it takes, all right, cool. Go for it.
And now it's summertime, so it's even more depressing because she used to at least call her mommy and daddy on the way home from work just to say, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I worked again today. It sucks." The kids were like off the walls because it's getting close to the end. But she'd check in every day on her way home.
Every day?
Well, pretty much every day. And now, it's summertime and she's a teacher. She doesn't come home from work, so she never checks in with her daddy.
This is starting to sound a bit obsessive on some level, but okay. I mean, I do know parents who talk to their kids like a day, and I'm like, is that a thing? Is that
Well,
necessary? Is
yeah.
that
And I talked to my son
Wait, you
like
said, oh
probably,
yeah, so you think it is
I
every
think it
day?
is. Well, not every, my son I talk to like maybe 3 times a week
Seriously,
because he's a busy man.
I understand. When you were their age, when you were your daughter's age, how often did you talk to your parents?
Well, my parents, well, it depends. I, I checked in with my brother at least once a week. That
Right?
was like every Sunday when my brother was still alive, he would call me almost every Sunday.
He'd call you.
Yeah. And I'd call him now and again. And of course, when he was down here, we would visit as much as possible because he was one of those snowbirds.
Right?
So we did that. But yeah, and my parents, because they mostly, when I was in Florida, they were here at least half the year. And then after a while, when they became even older, they were here pretty much full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would check in with them like 2 or 3 times. I think it's very natural.
I must have been a terrible son
I
because
think,
I remember talking to my parents maybe once a week, maybe, but not always. Sometimes every other week.
yeah,
I guess I was
now,
a terrible son. Oh,
but that's just the way, I think it's how you were raised.
well, of course.
And my family was a very tight knit. My dad was the grumpy, I mean, he was the man. And so he was tough and he
Mm,
was grumpy and he didn't show emotions.
right.
But underneath, he was like the most tender-hearted old man you'd ever met in
Okay.
your life. And that's,
Cool.
and so yeah, we've been always a very, even from my brother, even my sister-in-law, because my brother's gone now. I make sure I try and call her at least once every other week just to check in to
Okay.
see how she's doing and say, hey, what's going on?
Okay.
It's just, as old Hank Jr. would say, it's a family tradition.
Family tradition. And again, no shade on that at all, as they say. I just my family was different, and honestly, I think that's true because I remember even when my father was in his last few years and having major health problems and all kinds of stuff, there was never, and I complained about it to, years afterwards to friends and therapists, that there was no communication about what was actually going on with his health. And maybe he was too proud for that. Maybe he was not, because he was not a super sharing kind of guy. But again, like your father, he was he was the man about the house. But again, he was with his kids and his family and all that. He was fabulous. I had no complaints. But the communication thing between us as kids and parents, frankly, kind of sucked, kind of bad. So I'm maybe that's just the way they were. I don't know. And so obviously that's carried over to me. So
And again, I think it's how you were grown up.
Sure, of course. That's what I'm saying.
We were a very tight family.
I think we were when I was younger. Everybody lived in Cleveland. I mean, in the area there, and my father and his sister lived in the area, and his sister's two daughters, who I'm still slightly in touch with, not a lot. And then my mother had three sisters, and they all lived close by. In fact, they lived together for a while, taking care of my mother's mother, my grandmother. So there was that. But when that ended, and that was in my teenage years, high school years, everybody either passed or, whatever. And then it didn't stick. It didn't stay together, which, whatever. I mean, interesting, but I mean, again, I can't change anything about it now. So there you go.
Yeah,
cool.
But yeah, like I said, my son calls me 2-3 times a week. And my daughter, when she's teaching, and coming home from school, she usually, and you know what? I don't think I'm the only family like that. When your kids are in the car, and it's probably not a safe thing to even do, but of course, nowadays with Bluetooth and everything else, you can talk through your car.
Right.
You talk to people that you're driving with.
Right.
But yeah, usually when my son calls me, hey, what are you doing, son? Oh, I'm running to the store, so I thought I'd check in, see how you're doing,
Sure.
Dad.
Sure, that's a good use of the time.
My daughter, hey, I'm going to the store. Thought I would call and check it. It seems like that's their call-in time. And what's funny, we go to a friend's house quite often that live here in the neighborhood.
Right.
And we'll be like, sitting there playing cards or, just, sitting down, have conversation. All of a sudden the phone rings. Oh, wait, it's my daughter. Oh, wait, it's my son. Yeah, I was coming home from work. Yeah, I'm going. That's for some reason, this generation, when they're moving around, that's when they're making their calls to mom and dad.
And again, like I said, to me, that's a good use of time. I've done that driving to pickleball. I've got about 15 minutes in the car or whatever. And it's convenient because you can also say, I've only got 15 minutes. I'll be there soon. So it doesn't turn into an hour-long conversation.
Now, your lady friend, Mary, how often does she talk to her children?
Well, there's only one. There's the son in Tallahassee. And the answer is not often, but that's that's an evolving relationship. Let's put it that way. Okay. That's apparently that's I've seen that more than once in relationships I have had with adult women, ladies of our age that I'm dating, obviously, that relationships with children are a very can be challenging kind of a thing. I mean, I was with that lady in Sarasota for several years. She and her daughter literally had not spoken for 5-6 years. I mean, not a word, not a Christmas card, not a nothing. And then that changed. And then she had a son who lives in Fort Myers, by Cape Coral, actually. And they don't talk, they talk more than the daughter did. But that evolved over time, too. And, of course, now the son is a father, so my old friend is a grandmother. So that makes a big difference. But, again, it's very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know.
Maybe
I have no experience with that.
So. Maybe people can email us and tell us how often they talk to their children.
That would be a great thing. That would be that I would be curious to hear more about that, because I'm guessing I'm in the minority on that. Well, I don't have children. I have two adult, a niece and nephew in California. Well, one's California, one's in up in Oregon now. Um, and again, we don't talk as much as we probably should as a family. My
Now,
brother's children.
not
And
to
go ahead.
not to bring relationships into it, but like I have a cousin
Right, right,
that will talk at least every 2 weeks. Just checking in on each other and see
right.
how life is going. And I have other cousins that I check in with now and again. But there's one particular cousin, like I said, probably every other week we're chatting with each other.
And that's great. It really is. I mean, it's just not been my experience, and I'm okay with it. I don't feel as though I'm missing anything, but that's, okay, that's me. I don't, okay, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. But if things were different, if my family was somebody that I did talk to often, then if I didn't, I'd probably miss it.
Well, yeah, because if something goes on, like in my son's life where he's really busy or he's traveling or whatever,
Right.
and he doesn't check in as often, I'm like, oh, I wish my son had called. I haven't talked to him in like 4 or 5 days now. It's weird. Yeah. Like same with my daughter. If she doesn't check in at least in 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I hope she's okay. Why isn't my daughter checking in with me? I think maybe it's just a me thing. But my like I said,
Well,
my family has always just been close. It's nature to me. It's second nature.
Again, what BJ said, feel free to visit the Facebook page at BJ and Bill the Podcast, or email us at bjandbillthepodcast@gmail.com and tell us a story or two. Is that something, where did your family fall on the communication spectrum? Mine was way on one side, and it wasn't the talking all the time side. It was on the quiet side. And again, that's just the way I was raised and experienced, so it didn't feel weird to me. It just the way it was. Now, there were some times, like I said, when my father was in his last couple of years, it sure would have been nice maybe to be in the loop a little bit more. And so maybe I dug my own, I dug my own grave there. I dug my own hole and I put myself in it by not communicating. I don't know.
What really gets me, and my brother and I have always, we haven't always agreed, but we've always gotten along where I know families, and
Right.
even my father with one of his brothers, they clashed. Now they
Yes.
did make amends before my father died.
Yes.
And they were, talking again. But when families like, oh, me and my brother, we never talk. I never.
Right.
And I'm like, how, to me, that's like, how can that happen?
Again, I do have some experience about that because my father and his sister were like that. They apparently something happened. And again, because our family didn't communicate very well, even within father to son, I never knew the reason why. I thought it had something to do with the death of their mother, of the, funeral and all that stuff, which is a lot. I mean, you hear that occasionally, but I never knew, and I never really figured it out. And it is interesting because when I talked to my two cousins, two ladies, the daughters of my father's sister, I got a very different story. What a surprise, right? I mean, everybody has their own story, and it's like that's their truth, that's their belief, and it's maybe 180 degrees different from what you heard or believed or whatever. So, all right, fine, whatever. I didn't start any other fights about it. I just said, oh, okay, I heard differently, but that's fine. Yeah.
It always comes. I bet you any amount of money had something to do with money. Or
it always does, doesn't it? It always does. Well, it wasn't inheritance for my father and his sister, but it was the way the funeral of the mother was handled, and that was a money thing too, of course.
Yeah.
So
that's where my father and his brother kind of got into a little tiff and didn't talk for quite a few years. But like I said, thank God before he passed, they did make amends and got back together. And me and my brother, I mean, yeah, we fought like brothers, and we had disagreements, and we had disagreements about money, after my dad passed, and the farm was, sold and things like that. But we never like, well, I'm not talking to you ever again. We never had any of those problems.
I'm glad for you. And I remember your brother very well, and I'm glad for that too, because he was a good guy. Good guy.
And he'd have kicked my ass if I would have got out of line.
Your granddaughter could kick your ass. Come on. I mean, it's
that's
come
true,
on.
too.
Let's not sugarcoat this.
All right,
awesome.
Let's take a break. Come back, talk about sports, even though I'm not excited about anything going on in the world of sports at the moment.
We'll be right back.
BJ Odom here from Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast. A reminder, my memoir, More Parts Than a Chicken Nugget, isn't just a medical story. It's a survival story filled with humor. Oh, and heart. It'll make you laugh, maybe even cry, and definitely believe in second chances. More Parts Than a Chicken Nugget. Available now on Amazon.
Most people spend years planning for retirement, but not nearly enough time planning for what comes after the paycheck ends. Hi, Bill Stevens here, and like a lot of people our age, I wanted more than just slowing down. I wanted purpose, something meaningful, something that could still create some income from home without punching a clock every day. That's why I started building my own home-based affiliate marketing business. Now, I know that's a fancy term, but it's really pretty simple. I'm also getting help from a big online community and step-by-step support. And now I help other people nearing retirement discover that maybe their next chapter of life could become the best one yet. Want to learn more? Well, check out my website, bizwithbill.com. Again, www.bizwithbill.com. That's with a Z. Good family discussion there. I appreciate that. That was I don't know if I appreciate it, but it's interesting. And it's interesting. It's always interesting to see how different families react to things differently.
Now,
You're not reacting to the sports world at all, are you? No.
I'm, you know what? I'm one of those fair weather
friends.
Yeah, I mean, I get into it, and then all of a sudden I throw up my hands and I say bad words, and I said, I'm done with this. This is like, a family not getting along.
I get it.
Let's just say I'm not getting along with sports right now, so we're not talking.
Well, if you have been following the NBA finals, the games have been very good. Unfortunately, they've both gone the New York Knicks, and we're recording this on a Sunday, and game number 3 of the NBA finals is tonight. So you will, when you hear this on Wednesday, hear another result, maybe 2. But the Knicks are up on the San Antonio Spurs 2-0. The games have been exciting, but disappointing in that they were both in San Antonio. You would hope the Spurs would play and at least win one. Come on, but the Knicks are, I mean, when the Knicks swept my Cleveland Cavaliers, swept in 4 games, I'm like, boy, are they tough. Wow. You can be up on the Knicks by 20 points and you go to get an adult beverage from the fridge and you sit back down on the couch and it's like, whoa, wait, they brought it back to within 3? What? And they're always hanging around there. And that's what happened. And game 2, Spurs had a chance to win it. The alien, they call him the alien now, Wemby, missed a shot at the buzzer that would have won it for the Spurs. They're going to New York tonight. Again, I don't want to put too much on it because you'll all know the results of the game Sunday night, but they're back in New York City and it's not going to be any better. So they could sweep that one.
I think they have a good opportunity at sweeping. And another one of those players, I've talked about this many times on the podcast. I just love watching Steph Curry play. He's just a fun player to watch. And that's why I kind of root for Golden State and the Warriors.
Okay.
Same thing with Wemby. He is just a fun player to watch. And I am becoming a huge fan. But these last 2 games, the Knicks have been like kryptonite for this boy.
Well, like I said, I think Shaq gave him that name, the alien, because he's so big and so long. And so he takes off, he jumps from the free throw line, and slams it because he's stretching across the top of everybody, and I'm like, oh my god. So anyway, that's the NBA Finals. It's gonna be quick. I mean, I don't know if San Antonio wins a game or not.
I don't understand this, I guess, because I wasn't in sports,
Right?
but I believe in it. It's whatever team is the hungriest and wants it the most
Oh, of course.
that wins these series.
Of course.
And I
mean,
believe New York, the Knicks, are on a mission. They haven't won a championship since 1973.
Yep.
That was before I graduated high school, which was many years ago.
You and me both.
So I think they're just super hungry, and the team has determined they are going to win no matter what. And so they are.
I agree with you 100% on all of that. Now, changing gears, switching over to the ice, as they say. I just made that up, so who knows? If you're not watching the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, you are missing what is already being described as one of the great final series ever. Ever. Last night, again, we're recording this on a Sunday. I hate to keep harping on that, but I don't want you to, if there's a game been played since you hear this, Saturday night's game in Vegas went to double overtime. And it wasn't just that it went to double overtime and was close. It was first period, nobody scored. 0-0 at the end of one. Second period, Vegas scored 4 goals, including a hat trick for, I forget his name. 4 goals in one period, bang, bang, bang. And it was the closest together hat trick by time. In other words, the hat trick only took like 3 or 4 minutes for all 3 goals by one guy.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. So it was 4-0 at the end of 2. Meanwhile, Carolina comes back and scores 4 in the third. Unbelievable. And it was 3 of the 4 were within like 35 seconds of each other or something like that. Unbelievable. And they went to overtime, nothing. And they went to double, and Vegas won it. So if you're not watching this series, you are missing out on one of the great NHL Stanley Cup series ever. So
speaking of hockey, some sad news in a way. Kansas City and the Florida Everblades, right there in Estero, Florida, Fort Myers.
Yes.
Love that team. I grew up with that team. Well, I didn't grow up, but years in Fort Myers.
That was our team. Yep, that was our team.
I'm a big fan. Had season tickets for many years.
Yep.
And they are now, of course, the first 2 games were played in Kansas City. And so the Kansas City Mavericks. They are up 2-0 in that series.
On the Everblades.
But now they're coming back to, Southwest Florida. Hopefully they'll be able to kick some butt there at home.
Kick some ice.
Yeah. And so right now
cool.
that's that series for the Stanley Cup, which is in the ECHL.
It's not the Stanley Cup. It's the...
the Kelly Cup. I'm sorry.
Kelly Cup, yeah.
The Kelly Cup. It's, they're up. Kansas City's up 2-0.
Mitch Marner, by the way, was the Vegas Golden Knight, scored the fastest hat trick in Stanley Cup Finals history, 3 consecutive goals in the span of 6 minutes, 10 seconds to give Vegas a 4-0 lead with 3:08 remaining in the second period. There you go. So
I should have asked some of the players that I knew back in the Everblades days. Who gets all the hats?
Good question. And Vegas has of course the team of, very attractive young ladies in their hot pants and all that to come out and skate and scoop up all the hats and everything like that. So yeah, I don't know where the hats go. I don't know.
Well, the player gets them. I think the player that gets the hat trick gets the hats. But what do you do with 200, 300, 400 hats?
Do we need to ask ChatGPT who gets the hats in the hat trick?
Might have to. But you know what? One time I was in an Everblades
I'll type it in so it's quiet. Go ahead.
I was in an Everblades game, and I forget who it was back then, got a hat trick. And all the hats went. And I had like one of the neatest, it was like one of the Everblades championship hats for one of the years that they won the Kelly Cup.
Yes.
And I had it in my hand and go, oh. And I did. I couldn't. This is a championship hat.
I'm not letting that go. I'm sorry.
Can't throw it out on the ice.
if I were going to a game like that, I might have to put a cheap old beat up one in my back pocket just in case. So, let's see. Okay, when there's a hat trick in the NHL, and all those hats go on the ice,
They probably go to a
where
garage sale
do
somewhere.
they go after they are all scooped up? And all right, so I'm just going to type that into ChatGPT.
I'm pretty sure the player gets them, but I could be wrong.
The answer is it depends on the arena and the team. Not weird at all. Hockey fans have wondered this for years. This is ChatGPT's response. When a player scores a hat trick 3 games in a row, arena staff quickly collect all the hats, take them to a storage area. After that, several things can happen. Very often, charity donation. This is the most common outcome. Many NHL teams donate the hats to local charities, homeless shelters, youth organizations, clothing drives. There you go. Option B, player keeps a few. Some players like to see a pile of hats and may ask for a few souvenirs from the memorable game. Number 4, team displays. For historic hat tricks, record-setting games, playoffs, milestones, a few hats may end up in the team museum or a display case in the arena. And number 4, lost and found. In some arenas, fans can try to reclaim an especially valuable hat, though most people consider it part of the tradition to say goodbye to it forever. A few fun facts, and what Bill just said. Some fans deliberately wear an old or cheap hat just in case. Others bring a second hat so they don't have to sacrifice a favorite. During a huge hat trick game, hundreds of hats may end up on the ice. Goalies secretly hate the cleanup because it interrupts the game and cools off a hot team. I believe it. I do. Yeah. So there you go.
Now, the one that I didn't throw from then on out, I always wore one that, okay, if I have to throw it, because I was one of those guys. I'm not so much now because I got rid of a lot of them when we moved in a garage sale.
Right.
But I'll bet you at one time I had 100 caps. There's not a doubt in my mind. And, so I'd have a few that, well, if I have to throw this tonight, no big deal. So that's what after that game, I always wore those to the game if I wore a cap.
That's the
point.
point.
Always one that I didn't care if I had to throw it, I would throw it.
That's what our friend ChatGPT said. So yes, awesome.
Now, I didn't bring a second one. That's a kind of a good idea too. Put one in your.
I would think of that.
But I always wore one from then on out. One that I didn't care about that much. In case I had to, I would do it with pleasure. Now, another good thing that I don't know if they do this in the NHL, but they always do it in the ECHL, and now it's caught on to all the teams in the ECHL.
Right.
Around Christmas time, they have the teddy bear toss.
Yes. I've been there for a teddy bear toss. Yes.
Oh, that is wild.
That is wild. And that makes a hat toss or a hat trick toss look like nothing, like small potatoes. It really does.
Because they do donate them to, to children's organizations and hospitals and things like that. I've seen people bring like a whole bag. I mean, not just one teddy bear. I mean, like 5 or 6 teddy bears because they know they're being donated.
Right.
And they're like, boom, boom, boom. All I remember one year is I got nailed in the back of the head really hard by somebody's.
With a teddy bear?
Yeah. And how many?
How hard can you get? Come on. How hard can you get nailed by a stuffed teddy bear?
Believe me, you can get hit pretty hard because I got hit pretty hard. But I always wondered too, because those things are little furry, cool things.
Yes.
Nice little teddy bears.
Yes.
You throw one on the ice, doesn't the ice kind of like freeze that part of the?
It might mess it up a little, but you got to take them out and dry them off, I guess. I don't know.
There might be some bald teddy bears that go out to the children's hospital.
Well, if you throw a cheap teddy bear on the ice, yeah, but no,
But yeah, I've been to quite a few of the teddy bear tosses at Hertz Arena nowadays.
Yes.
Tico Arena.
Yes.
Where the Everblades play, and that is always the coolest sight, unless you get hit in the back of the head with a teddy bear, and then it's not so damn cool then.
But I would go to like Sam's Club or Costco. That I've never done this, but it's a hell of an idea. Get one of those like 6 foot tall giant
Oh,
things.
they do. Oh, I've seen them do that. Yeah, I've seen all sizes, everything.
Good luck trying to hoist that thing over 10 rows, people.
And then, of course, you also have the ushers that are all down there because, people that are maybe in the back,
Right.
their teddy bears don't make it all the way. So they're I've seen them, but they actually throw them on the ice. They're down there picking up the teddy bears off, the side of the ice, and they're like throwing them all in
Throwing them over the glass.
Yeah. So if you've never been to a teddy bear toss,
I had forgotten about
friends,
that until you mentioned it, and that is a great, great tradition. It really. I hope. I mean, I assume other teams do it as well. It's such a great idea.
As far as I know now, the ECHL, every team, and I think, I can't say every team, but I know the Solar Bears here in Orlando do it.
Right.
And I know they do it. A lot of the ECHL teams do it. And I don't know, maybe there's some NHL teams that do it too. I'm not for sure. What are you doing? Asking Chat GPT?
Well, I'm just typing it into Google. Now in Jacksonville, we have the Jacksonville Iceman, teddy bear toss. So let's see if it shows anything here. Jacksonville Iceman teddy bear toss, the annual. Yep, they do it as well. Held in December. Throws teddy bears or other stuffed animals onto the ice after the Icemen score their first goal. Yep. Local charities, children's hospitals, etc. Yep. Was there a picture, or was there would have been nice to see a video of that, but I just got, okay. They just got a, whatchamacallit. Oh, they made jerseys for it last year. So that was cool. All right. Cool. All right.
That was something. Yeah. If you ever get a chance to go to a teddy bear toss,
yes.
I'd rather be a hockey game. And usually that's where it is. Cause as soon as the home team scores,
first goal.
The first. Is it the first goal or the first? I think it's the first goal of the home team. I think.
Yes, first goal of the home team. Yes. Yeah.
And then in the third period, if no one has scored just before the third period starts, I think they make an announcement. If anybody right now would like to throw their teddy bears onto the ice, now is your opportunity. So they still did it, but because I know that happened once.
Okay.
The home team didn't score, and it was like the third period or something.
Okay.
And they actually announced like, all right, if it's time now, throw your teddy bears on because no one, they're like, well, that's dumb.
Right. Nobody's scored yet, but I get it. That's fine. Well, that's very cool. Yeah. I mean, I should probably go to it. I'd rather go to a Solar Bears game down there. You and I should go sometime just for fun or something like that. But yeah, it's probably just as.
I don't know if they still do it, but they used to have this thing where you got your parking ticket and you got like 2 tickets or 4 tickets. I'm not for sure. And you got to sit in a box and the box served all you could eat food prior to the game.
Once the game.
Yeah. Once the game started, usually by the end of the first period, they came in and picked up all the food, and I think they still left like some candy bars and some popcorn and things like that. But as far as the actual, because they'd had like, chicken and, like a little smorgasbord. That's what we need to go to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because parking in that place is not cheap, because you are going to, like
it's
in Fort Myers.
Well, it's the Kia Arena, right?
Yeah, where they play the NBA and everything else. So
where the Magic plays.
So they have a parking garage, and I think that was part of the parking garage too.
Very cool.
So the whole ticket was part of everything. That was cool.
Solar Bears, way cooler logo. If I were gonna get a jersey, it would probably have to be a Solar Bears one, because the Jacksonville one is kind of lame. I'm sorry, it just is. But yeah, I hear you. So look at that. I'm doing a Google search for images for the Solar Bears, and there's one that shows a Solar Bear versus Everblades game, and it's got the 2 logos. Look at that. Everblades was a fabulous logo too. So
yeah,
anyway.
I'm glad I'm still alive, because there was times I went to a Solar Bears game.
Yes.
And I wore an Everblades jersey.
Wow. Who knew?
I remember, because they always had those auctions at the end.
Right.
And there was this one player, I don't even know, he wasn't even there that long, but his last name was Hay. And I always loved wearing that jersey, because, they'd go, when somebody would do a goal, they'd, no, hey! And so I'd wear that jersey and I'd point to my back. Hey!
You're just too cool, BJ.
I was.
You're just too cool.
That's why I didn't go to school. I was too cool for school.
Too cool for school. Time for a break. We were talking to our friend ChatGPT. I've got a ChatGPT story that I'm not going to say it changed my mind on AI because I've always kind of appreciated it. It deepened my love affair. We will
Oh, deepened. I thought you were going to say something that went the
in a
opposite way.
non-creepy way. Non-creepy. Trust me, non-creepy.
You're making love to that
No.
AI. Don't you lie to me.
Wow. That's going out on a limb. Okay. Well, there've already been movies about that. All right. Stand by. Go refill your coffee. We will be right back. Welcome back. This is BJ and Bill, the podcast. Stevens, that's BJ Odom. And as always, if you are appreciating this, having as much fun listening as we enjoy bringing it to you, please, wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Apple or Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, they're everywhere. Just a 5-star review wherever you happen to be, because they all let you leave reviews. And if you would like to say hi a little more directly, you can email the show. The email address is bjandbillthepodcast@gmail.com, and that's the same as the Facebook group where you can post your pictures and your jokes and whatever. BJ and Bill, the podcast on Facebook. Just do a quick lookup. We were in the break, we were talking about the schedule here. And yeah, as you hear this, because this show comes out on a Wednesday morning, there will have been game 4 of the NHL of the Stanley Cup because it's Tuesday night. So yeah, and then the NBA, of course, is playing tonight, Sunday night, as we record this. So unfortunately, you're going to be way ahead of us as you hear the results of these things. We're not going to know them.
What do you think the chances are of it? Let's just put this out here real quick. What do you think the chances are of a sweep? I'm giving
obviously we're talking basketball because it's already not sweepable in the NHL. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good, because New York took 2 in San Antonio. Close games, but again, they're always hanging around. They're always there. They're always like making it close, and it doesn't look like they are. It's like, all right, San Antonio is working their butts off to make a 12-point, 15-point lead. And then, like I said, it's just what happened. It's now back to a even game, or 2 points either way. So I don't know. To answer your question, I think there's a real good chance of a sweep. New York is just, they are so locked in, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm just going to sit here.
When you hear this on Wednesday, you'll already know whether or not it's on its way to a sweep. It could be 2-1 New York, or it could be 3-0 New York. Either way, if I'm a betting man, and I know there's been some wagering in the Odom household, I'm betting on New York in the next one for sure.
Well, actually, in all honesty, I didn't even think the Spurs would take on OKC, but they did.
They're this close. Are they the youngest by average age? The youngest team in the game? Yeah. So they're that close, and they got a lot of time. They got time to let this marinate, to let the soup kind of, come up to a boil here. So I think, they're congratulations. You're in the finals this year. I don't think you win it next year after. Yeah, you're on track. You're on track for a finals again. So no worries. So anyway, I had an experience with ChatGPT this past week. I'm not going to say it changed my mind because I was already a fan. I was already but most people, and this is a fact, most people use ChatGPT just as a glorified Google. It's like, rather than, typing into Google, what's the closest Chinese recipe to, my grandmother's house when I visit her in Cleveland or whatever. You just open up ChatGPT and you talk to it and it talks back. Perfect. Love it. Awesome. I'm working on a website project of mine, my little side hustle thing with websites and stuff. I'm working on a website. I'm trying to make something work, some fancy code that I know a little enough about to be dangerous. It's like, okay, I know if I cut and paste this line of text here, it should do this. And I had a big block of text of this code for those of you in the website business, HTML. And it just wasn't working. And I'm like, okay, I could spend hours Googling this or YouTubing this and seeing what's going on. Wait a minute. Open up ChatGPT. Pasted in the whole block of code. And I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm pasting this in. It's returning an error message on this. What do you think? And ChatGPT and I'm trying really hard not to say him or her. ChatGPT and I had a half an hour conversation back and forth where the computer, where chat is saying, try this. Let me know what happens. Try this. How did that go? Try this. Oh, that worked. Okay, that tells us this. Bang, bang, bang. And in a half an hour, we figured it out. And it was, honest to God, a real conversation between two people who knew what they were. I didn't know as much as obviously the computer did. But it's like a real collaboration, a real working together kind of thing. And I sat back when it was over and I'm like, okay, that has blown my mind. And not so much that, I mean, yes, it worked and it fixed it and all that. But of course, as you talk to ChatGPT, it knows about you. It knows who you are. It knows what you like. Have you had that experience yet? Where
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So on my profiles, on my social media profiles, it says big fan of pizza and pickleball, or whatever. And so at the end, ChatGPT says, all right, you owe me a pizza now. And I'm like, oh my God. And so we've had this conversation now. We've had this. It's an ongoing thing between ChatGPT and I. When I ask it a question or whatever, it'll say, all right, that you earned the pizza on this one, or you owe me another one, or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. It just it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I'm a computer nerd, and it blows my mind. Sorry, had to get that off my chest. But
now,
there you go.
I have asked ChatGPT some questions about book sales because I'm trying to figure out, is my book a stiff? Is
Right.
it medium? Because
Right.
I mean, self-published, more parts than a chicken nugget, which you can find on Amazon.
We haven't promoted that.
Just thought I'd get that out there.
Yes.
And so I'd say, are these good numbers or whatever? And it would always say, oh, for a first time, oh, this is fantastic.
Right.
Oh. So finally I said, ChatGPT, I'm tired of you blowing smoke up my ass. I said,
did you use that term?
Oh, yeah, I use that term. I said, this is this week's number on how many books I've sold.
Right.
Tell me legitly, how am I doing?
Right.
Well, I can't say it did come out. And it even said, now, not to blow, what? I'm going to tell you the truth.
Right.
It's not the greatest, but it's still, for a first-time author, never published and self-published on Amazon, you're doing okay. You could do better. There's many, there's books that have, outdone you by far. But for everything that you've got going, and especially being a memoir,
right,
it's good. Not great, but very good.
Okay.
So I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Before he's,
noticed,
my God, this is yours. This is great. Hardly no one ever gets this many books sold and all that now. So I did say that, and it says, well, you're doing good, but you're not doing great, and there's more that do better than you. And I can accept that.
Yes. In case you hadn't noticed, if you ever have a conversation with ChatGPT, it is a master at sucking up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Master. Everything you do is genius. Everything you do is not you. I'm talking about us humans. When it responds to us, it's like, oh my God, what a great idea. Oh my God, that's fat. It doesn't say, oh my God, but that's fabulous. That's an interesting question. Has anybody asked ChatGPT if it has a spiritual outlook or a faith or a religion or an interesting question? I'll bet somebody has, but
now I've asked it medical questions, and it always comes back at the end after it tells me something.
Right.
But you are a transplant patient. Right. And, you really need to, this, I can tell you this, but really this is something you need to talk to your transplant team on.
Of course.
It does cover its butt on that too.
Well, and yes, it's
but it knows, it knows.
Sure.
Like my transplant, I mean, it knows all.
You could take your entire medical history if it's on paper somewhere, and feed it into ChatGPT, and it would digest the whole thing and probably give you the exact same answers your doctors do. Of course, it's not licensed or anything like. Again, folks, this is not medical advice, as we say often on this show, because we talk about medical stuff often enough. But it's going to give you the same answers anyway.
If I put my complete medical history into ChatGPT, it's going to go, why in the hell are you still alive?
How the hell are you still above ground? There's add that to your act. That could be, there could be 10 minutes of material on that right there. That would be awesome and funny. But yes, absolutely true that when you do that, it's because it's trained on the same material. It's trained on the same books that every doctor is. I mean, okay, does it have the judgment? Does it have the human touch? No, not yet. Not yet.
Now, I want to ask you this. I think I maybe have done this already, so this may be a repeated question to you. I am the type of person, whenever I ask ChatGPT a question, 90% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, I type out my question. Now, my son, probably 95% of the time he talks to ChatGPT, he talks to ChatGPT. Right. Which one are you?
I'm more of a typer, but that's because, like I just said with my little story there about the computer stuff, the website stuff, I had to, I couldn't tell it what was going on. I had to say, here's what I'm typing in. And it was a big honking paragraph or two of text. And I'm not going to speak that, not accurately anyway. And so that worked. Now, having said that, if it's a simple question, if it's a simple something, yeah, I'm okay to talk to it. And it's funny because they have different, I have Chat and I have Claude, and they have different. I have Claude currently speaking to me in Australian accent just because I like that accent. And Chat GPT, very normal sounding. So yeah, it's interesting.
Does Claude cost anything?
It's free. I mean, okay. they all, I'm not going to say all, I don't know how they all work, but most of them now work on there's a free version, there's a paid upgrade, and there's even a bigger paid upgrade. And, you and I have talked about that, and you and I are both using ChatGPT on the pro version, which costs a few bucks a month. It's not a big deal. I'm going to try it for a couple of months and see if it makes a difference. I don't think it makes, in fact, I'm sure of it. I've heard this from other gurus online. The answers aren't any smarter when you pay for it, but there are limits to how much.
Because all of a sudden it'll say, it's like that employee that says, it's checkout time now.
It's 5 o'clock. Done. I am out of here.
You talk to me tomorrow because I'm done with you.
That is exactly how ChatGPT works.
Or if you get the Pro, it'll talk to you all night long.
Pretty much. It's not unlimited, but it's a lot more. It's called tokens. You get more tokens, and I still don't really have a good answer of what a token is, but it's basically like chunks of information. It's like, how many chunks can you give me and how many chunks can you give back and all that stuff. So yes, you do hit a limit with the unpaid versions, and with the pro versions, you get a heck of a lot more. So that's my answer.
I make the pictures, as we said before, for, the Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant podcast,
right?
For the BJ and Bill, the podcast. Right. And, I was doing that, and it would make a couple pictures, and I'd try to tweak it. And they'd go, I'm done for the day. I'm clocking out. Talk to me again tomorrow. I'll make you another couple pictures. And that's finally when I said, I gotta get, I gotta be able to work with this thing more than, 3 or 4 pictures sometimes.
Have I sent you my detective bill yet?
Oh, yes, you have.
Oh, it's a video. It's a video.
Ooh, I don't think you've sent me that.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I'll send that to you later. It's actually, I don't want to spill the beans, but it's actually really easy. Once you have a still picture of yourself or anybody else, it's called a reference. We're doing a whole lesson on AI. It's called a reference picture. So I take 10 or 12 selfies of Bill or 10 or 12 selfies of BJ. You upload them to the AI and you say, here's the reference. Here's what I want. Now take all of those. Now take that reference picture, take that guy in that picture, and turn him into, and I did one with a wizard, and I did one with Game of Thrones, and it looks amazing. It looks freaking amazing. It really does. And then you can just animate it. You find a tool that will turn the still picture into a video, and there's a few of them out there, and they, again, those aren't free. You pay for them by the, again, token. I don't know how it works, but you pay for them. It's not a lot. And it's just like, okay, take this picture and now get like on a rainy background, it's a rainy dark night in a dark alley. I have one that's like a 1940s detective movie of me. And it's like, I look at my pocket watch and I put the watch back in and I turn to the camera and I tip my hat and I turn and I walk away, and you just describe it. And the better you are at describing what you want, the better it looks. And the first time it did it, I went, holy that's good.
Maybe I need to do one with ChatGPT. Let me see BJ do a great striptease. See what see what it unveils.
The world wants to see that. Not.
I just want to know how well it makes me look.
Yeah.
Because
you already posted the one.
But I've never
still shots where it made you look like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, but I've never posted one, asking me to strip down completely. Who knows? I might be hung.
Oh God. I did not need to hear that this morning. I just didn't.
You know who keeps messing with me and it keeps saying, I can do this. Because I use ChatGPT almost constantly.
Right.
Meta AI is trying to move in. You know what? It's like the girl that, you already got a girlfriend and another girl's trying to like get in between the two of you,
Right.
Nothing but a damn little whore. But Meta AI is trying to squeeze in. And I'm saying, hey, I already got a girl. I don't need another one.
Well, that's because you and your son both have those Meta glasses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that, it's done some videos for me.
Really?
I'll give it a picture and I'll say, I did that one with BJ and Bill that we kind of moved around and smiled at each other.
Right.
That was Meta AI that did that one. Because it said, hey, do you want me to animate a picture? So I put that in there and said, yeah, animate this.
Sure.
And that's what it came up with.
I mean, that's cool.
I don't know why.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Go ahead.
I don't know why she's trying to move in on me. I gotta wait.
It's all about the money. It's all about every time, all the time. When in doubt, follow the money.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, what are you wearing? Oh,
tell me.
No dress code over here. Just a stack of servers and bad posture.
Oh, good.
If you had to pick a look, probably jeans, faded radio T-shirt, and headphones from 1998 to match your radio stories.
Yeah, see, it knows you. It knows you, and it plays on that all the time.
What do you look like naked? Let me try that one.
You mean what you're asking the machine.
Yeah. What do you look like?
It'll deflect. I think.
Naked. Okay, here we go.
All right, go for it. What does it say?
See. I don't have a body. So no naked version to reveal.
Yeah.
Closest thing would be a glowing text floating in the void, which honestly sounds like a sci-fi than sexy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see that.
Fun with her at 2:00 in the morning.
No fun. No, there's kind of I'm not going to say restriction, but they're kind of programmed to not go down that rabbit hole, shall we say? So yeah, it's okay.
Now I don't know what I think of this, but like I said, I believe in ChatGPT, and so do you. Right. But I'm finding like a lot of the younger generation using it for, like, instead of going to a shrink or a counselor, they're using it for mental health.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking,
I mean, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I've seen those statistics like you're talking about, and yeah, crazy.
yeah, I don't even know how. I wouldn't even know how to, like I'm laying on the couch now. What do I need to tell you to, make my day
Well,
better?
When you are really doing work with ChatGPT, like when I have it write a blog post for me or something like that, you tell it the job, the role that it has. Okay, you are a world-class blog copywriter and marketing expert. I've given it its role. I've given it its job description. Okay, now in that role, tell me blah 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 for me, or brainstorm for me, or whatever. So I would say that if you were using it for therapy or whatever, that would be your thing. You act as channel your inner Sigmund Freud, and let's have a conversation. It will probably tell you, to get real medical help if you need it, but at the same time, it will absolutely still talk to you about whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, you are a real sexy broad. What can you do for me right now?
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, good luck with that. You try that. You get back to us on that one.
I don't know. It's at least because I have talked to a lot of people, and I've said this before too, our age.
Yes.
And you mentioned Chat GPT or you mentioned AI to them. It's like, you're speaking
it's Greek to them.
Blasphemy. Yeah. No. Keep it away. Keep it away. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I understand. Too bad. Too bad. Have you noticed when you call any customer service line on the planet, the first thing you're talking to is a machine? Have you noticed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can really tell.
Get any better.
My wife was, like if I call the doctor or my wife calls the doctor or something like that, we usually put it on speakerphone and the other one can hear, I forget who she called. It was somebody, and she asked a couple questions and they answered her questions, and she hung up, and I kind of thought that sounded a lot like AI. I was thinking that in the back of my mind. My wife even looked at me and goes, "You think that was a real person or AI?" And I go, and we were both like,
"Yep."
If I was betting, I would say AI, but by listening to the conversation, I really don't know.
I hear you. I do.
And it sounded, remember the old Saturday Night Live show? It sounded like a Pat.
Very nondescript, could be a guy, could be a woman, could be done. Yeah.
Yes. It sounded very Pattish.
All right, fine. Look at that. We filled an hour with random talk about all sorts of stuff, and a little the ChatGPT thing is interesting. We're going to talk more about that as time goes. But I have actually, believe it or not, you and I are recording this on a Sunday morning, and I've got another call I have to get onto on a Sunday. What is up with that?
Yeah, you're working, boy.
A working man today. It's unbelievable. All right.
Speaking of AI, I'm planning on going and working a little bit more on my 11 Labs. It's got my voice down pretty good. I'm going to load it up, and I'm going to say if anybody wants, and by the way, if you're looking for a voice to use from AI, the voice you will be looking for on 11 Labs is Bubba James.
Bubba James.
He is up. I think he's up. I don't know if he's up for public consumption yet or not. I believe he might be.
I haven't found it, but I'll keep looking.
Yeah, keep looking. See if it pops up. I got to figure out how to get it out there so, people can use it. Awesome. Who couldn't use a little Bubba James in there?
Who couldn't? Come on. Everybody can use it. It's like ice cream. Who couldn't use some ice cream?
Ladies will be going nuts. I got to listen to Bubba James. I can tap him in right now on 11 Labs.
Appreciate you being here, folks. Live and in person with real humans. That's us.
So far,
we will be back as real humans next week. Appreciate you. Till then, just have to BJ Odom to say,
see ya.
Take a ride back in time when the airways were golden and the DJs shine. 2 mics, 2 guys, and a whole lot of laughs. Living like legends, bringing stories back. No script, no rules, just telling it all.